Well, hello MGTOW. Welcome to my truck. Welcome aboard. The topic of conversation for today is polygamy and polyamory, and how they're both two sides of the same coin. We have been hearing a lot about polyamory lately as feminists come to power. Polyamory is the idea that we can spread the love, right? That women can have multiple relationships at once, right? Multiple love relationships. And that we can, change the structure of society that way, right? By allowing women to basically have many men that come around and do their thing with her. That's polyamory. One woman, several men. Polygamy is in a sense the opposite of it. Polygamy is one man marrying, and the key word here is marrying, several women, right? Two or more. So let's begin with polyamory and how it benefits the modern woman, right? And why feminists pursue it so much. So how does polyamory benefit the modern woman? Well, she doesn't have to commit to any one man in particular. Sorry about that noise. She doesn't have to commit to any one man in particular. She can experience sexual liberation, right? And gather resources from different men. So it's all about the resources. She's obtaining benefits from all the men that come around and pump her and leave, right? Or she may have one particular man that she lives with, and that's her cock, but he's weak enough to accept her having other men come around, and he knows that she's being used and abused at a time when he's not watching, but he's okay with that. And in a polyamorous world, she she expects all men to fall for this crap, to accept this, right? Needless to say, the spread of disease that can come about as a result of this sexual arrangement here can be quite rampant. But then again, what does she care? You know, the women aren't used to being held responsible for their actions, right? Most women are not. She's just having a great time. She's riding the carousel on steroids, right? Off and on, and and at the same time she's being taken care of financially by men. So this is a form of prostitution in which the woman can keep her social status intact, right? She's not judged. And if you go on dating sites like Tinder and others, you see that this is taking off, right? This idea of polyamory, they're pushing it hard, these modern women. They have very little to lose and lots to gain, even if it's a short-term gain that they're going for, without wondering, or without having a clue of how they're gonna get worn out quickly and be unable to find a quality man to care for her in her old age, because they're living for the moment, and they have all kinds of there are all kinds of ideas on why this should be acceptable, and they bring out data or historical quote-unquote facts from eras long gone in order to justify this sort of behavior. So polyamory, one woman being being a cow for many bulls. Now, polygamy is a bit different, because polygamy has been it's been in the domain of the religious cults for many years, right? If you think about religious organizations like the fundamentalist Latter-day Saints and others, they've practiced polygamy. And this is a bit different, because it's one man, of course, with many women, but it's also very similar to polyamory in the sense that the woman or the women involved are in it for the money. They're not going to marry some broke guy, right? Usually the man who finds himself imprisoned in these relationships, and I do say imprisoned, and I'll let you know in a little bit why I said that. But he finds himself in these relationships with multiple women because of the resources that he has, and these women are after what he has. His looks, his age, who he is, it's all secondary. None of that matters as much as what he can provide. And if he has enough to provide for several women, then so be it, right? Like we look in the in some Islamic countries, right? Polygamy is legal, but it's not everyone that's practicing it. It's usually the oil tycoon, right, or the guy that has a ton of real estate that's able to pull it off. So it all has to do with resources, right? Now, the man that finds himself in this relationship, in these relationships, or in this situation of being in a polygamous community, right, has to take on added responsibilities. Women are quick to have children with a man that has resources, and it's no different in a polygamous sect. That's their way of ensuring that the resources are gonna keep flowing to their side. So there's the element of added responsibility. There are many children involved usually. The women, as opposed to in a polyamorous setting, the women in a polygamist arrangement may very often live in the same house with the man. Quite often he's absent from the home for long periods of time. I mean, he's working usually, right? He's producing, and when he comes home, he has to divide his time between 2 or more nagging wives, 3, 4, whatever, right? And he also has to divide his time among his children, none of which get proper attention from or an adequate amount of attention from his father, because there are so many usually. The women are constantly bickering and fighting for the man's attention, to the point where they some of the women that have left polygamist relationships and even polygamous communities say that so and so, meaning their ex-husband, is a one-woman man. So they blame the man for wanting to be with one woman, and it's normal, right? As you get older and you discover what it's really like to be in a relationship with a woman, never mind many women, right? You find out what it is. You find out what it truly is. It's not all that it's cracked up to be. And so, needless to say, you're gonna have a favorite one out of all your wives. Maybe the one person that's gonna have the best personality, that's least demanding, or who knows. But men tend to prefer being with one woman, right? And this conditioning, social conditioning, that that in our old age we have to sleep around or whatnot. It's the result of feminism, ensuring that the vagina dynasty doesn't die. Young men, in my opinion, want to explore their sexuality, but as you get older and you find out what women really are, and that most of the time the effort of going through the seduction process is not worth the end result, you're content with just having one woman, especially if she can be a decent companionship, right? Which most women are not, unfortunately. At least that's been my experience. And so guys tend to want to look for that unicorn, right? That special one. We still have, in many cases, many of us still live by the ideology, the idea that that one woman is out there for us, right? That the perfect one, the one that we'll end up being happy with for many years, that we can share our most intimate secrets with, and they'll be understanding and they'll be supportive or whatnot. But based on what we found lately about women, that dream has come crashing down for many men, and for good reason, right? They look at the experiences that they've had, throughout their lives with women, especially the older ones among us, and we say, you know what, whatever these MGTOW guys are saying, that's the truth, that's the reality. And so many of us aren't happy, or would not be happy in a polygamist arrangement, where we are, we take on all that added responsibility, financial responsibility, as well as other responsibilities having to do with maintaining families. We're just not happy. We just won't be happy with it, most of us, right? The added sex or time spent sexing these women would not be worth all the effort that we have to put into it. But worst of all is the constant bickering and nagging and infighting in the home as the result of jealousy among the women that form part of the household. The feminists would like to say that polygamists benefit, right? That polygamous men benefit, right, from being in these relationships. That we've been forcing women to form part of this, relationships. That they're basically imprisoned in the name of religious dogma. That they have no escape. That the boys are being, the young boys are being kicked out of the communities, so that the older men can, have good access to the younger girls. Because after all, old horses love fresh grass. So they make it seem as though we're for, we men, and I've never been in a polygamist sect or in a polygamist arrangement, but they make it seem as though men are forcing the girls to be in them, right? To be in these relationships. And usually that's not the case. Usually even the father of the girl is involved in the whole arrangement, right? And marrying or helping his daughter find a suitable husband, someone that can provide for her, and take care of her for a long time. So it's a different, it's all a different side of the same coin. The centering of society on the needs of women, the focusing of society on the needs of women. Right? What do they need? Do they need safety? Do they need security? Right? Polyamory provides it. Do they need safety? Do they need security? Polygamous men provide it. Right? That's what it's really all about. Anyways, MGTOW. Oh, by the way, yeah, we're in Pennsylvania right now. We're in Highway 219, headed southbound. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up a load here somewhere, and then we'll find ourselves in some other place tomorrow. Beautiful day today. Every day is beautiful, really, but today is particularly sunny and clear. The kind of day where where we can find it easy to feel glad that we're alive. All right, MGTOW. Be good out there. I'll catch you on the next ride.